I got stopped all the time with people with cameras.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean,
It's that smile.
is it the smile?
It's the smile.
I don't have a smile.
You
I have
got a
kind
smile.
of a grin.
Everyone has a smile. And I would love to hear.
My New York love story?
It doesn't have to be in New York.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
It always is. I'm a songwriter. And I was up in Minneapolis. I was working with a friend of mine up there. And we were working at Paisley Park. While I was up there, I met this incredible woman who just, every time I saw her, she just popped right out of the woodwork. Finally one day I was like, you're not from around here, are you? This is Minnesota. You know? The first time I met her, I'm also a hairdresser. So I was doing a part-time job at this guy's studio, and she used to come in all the time. We just fell madly in love, you know. And she was still actually married, but she was pretty much in the middle of getting divorced. And he lived in California. And it was one of those things, like I took her number, but I was so damn busy. And I waited like 2 weeks to call her. You know how that goes. And when we, later on, she said, you have one more day, motherfucker. And that was it. So. And before I made it, just under the, deadline. She lost her job, and she was getting a ton of offers in New York. She was like, you want to go to New York City? I was like, hell yeah, I'm from Washington, D.C. When the minute she said, what do you think about moving to New York? I was like packing, And we moved here, and we got this, we did this, do you have time for all this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, go into it.
First thing we did while we were still up there, we did an apartment hunting safari. Telling people, showing houses and things like that. It's not a lot of fun, I think.
No.
But we were just having a ball, because we were like going in other people's houses and like cracking on their furniture and shit, It just, and then like the realty people was, I've never seen like a couple like have so much fun looking at fucking apartments, And that's just kind of the way we were. We rolled. We moved here, and we ended up in Jersey City. And this was before they built that freaking monstrosity. This is before 9/11. And we had like the most gorgeous view of Manhattan you ever want to see in your life. It was just a great place to be. It was going great. And one day she used to do a lot of traveling, and she came back from India. She'd been there for 3 weeks, and she was just really tired. And then she was just really tired, and I was taking her to doctors. She was missing work because she was tired, and nobody could really find out what the hell was wrong with her. Finally, she started putting on a lot of weight. She couldn't sleep. They finally got her in there. She had this really, it was a very bizarre situation. She had polycythemia vera, which is a blood thickening disease. Usually doesn't happen until you're in your 60s or 70s. And you just take blood thinners, it's not a big deal. But she contacted it early, at 40s. And, they didn't detect it in time. And within about, 3 weeks, she was dead. Because it really is true, it's better to have loved at least once than never to have loved at all. I mean, I went through 5 years of darkness. Here you are wildly in love with someone who is just incredible. And it was one of those things where my friend, I hate to say, my friends would go, what is she seeing you? And I'm like, dude, what? Fuck, what am I, chopped liver? She was that, incredible, And all of a sudden she's gone, just like that, and you're alone. And you're in a city where you don't know anybody, and you end up just walking it by yourself alone, discovering it on your own. I wish I had my guitar and I'd play you a song. It's called New York City. Don't forsake me. In parentheses. I would say 30% of my songs have New York in them. And they'll have something about it, that thing about walking the streets for 5 hours, because you just can't get something out of your mind. Because I got sober too at one point. I almost killed myself with drugs and alcohol and grief and depression. It was not fun. And I had to get sober. And one of the things I would do, I was broke too, so one of the things I would do is I'd get dressed up and I'd walk around. I would come out at like almost midnight. I walked from here I would walk literally from downtown all the way uptown, cross into Times Square, then farther up into Central Park, and then come around 9th Avenue and all the way down to World Trade Center. And then I'd take the train home to Patterson to get home at like 8 in the morning. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's when you're living. We all think we're living when we're in the pleasure zone. But what Buddha and all those people were trying to tell you is when you're really living is when your nerves are on the fucking edge of your skin. And it hurts all the time. That's when you're living your most. But most of us can't deal with it, right? We can't cope with it. So we do self-destructive things. We get really depressed. We don't do anything also positive to lift ourselves out.
What's your name?
Trace.
Hi, I'm Shay.
Shay?
Yeah, Shay.
And how is that spelled?
SHEA.
SHEA. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, I hope you got a little material.
I did. Thank you so much for
You're
sharing
welcome.
and being honest.